Hola.
Hello, friends.
This
Welcome back to another week of Wanders of Weird. Didn't you say you wanted
I
to
wanted
start
to
saying
start
that?
announcing it. Yeah, thank you for remembering that. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the final installment of my little short story that has become like a dramatized play at this point. This will probably be a little bit longer than the other parts. I put a little bit more of my ussy into this one.
Not the Issy.
Um, so I hope this doesn't suck, and I hope that y'all have actually enjoyed this, and I'll let y'all know like what I kind of have plans for this after the fact. Um, but anyways, so let me open my document. On the last episode, Claire and Abby became separated, and they both found their way back to the Anywhere Alley, but it is closed off after Abby is tricked into entering. Claire finds an incantation in the book from Elva, and just as she is about to read it aloud, a strong wind whips through the street, and she sees a small gap in the barrier and slips through. Claire hears Abby scream her name, and she turns to see her sister surrounded by the shadows and reaches out to her uh, to help her just as Elva joins them. Elva starts our scenario. Let them go.
Elva, help us. They're trying to take her.
I'm trying. I never should have gotten the two of you into this mess. It's all my fault. Oh, I'm supposed to be Abby as well. Help me! Abby is being drugged by the shadows further into the alley. No specific destination in sight. Claire and Elva are following close behind.
What do we need to do? I can't let them take her.
Did you bring the book?
It's in my bag.
Claire reaches into her bag, but the book is not there.
I must have left it on that bench when the wind got so bad, and I saw my only chance to get back here to get Abby.
It's going to be okay. We will get your sister back. Claire and Elva continue after the wall of shadows that has gathered to cover Abby, who they can faintly hear screaming. They can faintly still hear screaming.
What's going to happen if we don't get her back?
I don't really know, but I know that no one that is captured by the shadows is ever seen again.
We have to get her now.
Let's just stop and gather our thoughts. You're more powerful than you think you are. It wafts off of you wherever you go, Claire. The shadows probably smelled it on you the first time you came through and knew how they could trap you and get all that power through your sister.
What do you mean powerful? What?
I mean that you aren't just a witch, my dear. You are a very powerful witch who hasn't learned how to wield their magic yet, and that is a very dangerous and tempting concoction for the shadows. They need to steal it from you in order to break free. Didn't you read the book I gave you?
Well, I did, but I didn't think it was about me.
The prophecy tells that if the shadows consume you and your volatile magic, that it can become so powerful that it will not need to be confined to the prison of the Anywhere Alley.
This cannot be happening right now.
I tried to warn you. I didn't think you would come back.
I didn't want to, but Abby...
Claire begins to cry, thinking of how her sister never should have told thinking of how she never should have told Abby anything else about the alley.
It's all my fault. I'm the one that wanted to come down here to begin with.
Don't blame yourself. You were drawn here, but a force that you couldn't even have begun to by a force that you couldn't even have begun to imagine. Take my hands. Elva holds her hands out to Claire. Claire looks at them as though they may infect her, but takes Elva's outstretched hands. Now, take a deep breath. Exhale. Elva begins to hum, low and slow. Claire feels a surge of what feels like lightning through her body, and she opens her eyes wide and catches Elva's attention.
What?
It's power. You can feel it too.
Yeah.
Don't let go. Together we can do this together. Elva resumes the low hum, and Claire joins her, feeling as though her entire body could take flight. Repeat after me, Claire. The ties that bind,
The ties that bind
will be unbound,
will be unbound,
never to be bound again.
never to be bound again.
The ties that bind
The ties that bind
will be unbound,
will be unbound,
never to be bound again.
never to be bound again.
The two repeat this chant several times, and Claire cracks open her eyes to see if it is doing anything to help save her sister. To her amazement, she sees the shadows are beginning to disappear slowly, but they are strong, and she feels herself weakening. Elva feels Claire's power waning and knows that this is the most crucial moment that everything could change. Keep going, Claire. You can do this.
I'm not sure if
Claire begins to slump into Elva's arms. The shadows begin to lurch toward them. Several shadows remaining behind where they have Abby pinned to the ivy-clad wall at the end of the alley. Give yourself up, Claire. We will let her go if you give yourself up. You have to keep going, Claire. Take my hands, please. Claire gathers the remaining strength she has to look up at where her sister is being held. She sees the fear in Abby's eyes, and Claire is suddenly filled with a rage that could scorch every timeline she has ever set foot in.
the ties that bind
The ties that bind
will be unbound,
will be unbound,
never to be bound again.
never to be bound again. Elva and Claire are chanting louder, and Elva is excited and terrified at the same time of the amount of power that is coursing through them at this pivotal moment. Elva tries to catch Abby's eye and elevates her voice so that she may hear what they are saying and be able to join in. Elva knows that Abby has some power within her, though it will never be what Claire possesses. Abby, terrified but determined, notices that Elva is trying to catch her gaze. The shadows have been whispering so loud that she could not hear what her sister and Elva had been chanting, but it must be working because the whispers are so low that it sounds like static noise now. Elva nods at her, and Abby knows that she needs to join, and it may be her only hope. Do it scared, as Abby says this to herself. And suddenly the three are in sync with one another.
The ties that bind will be unbound, never to be bound again. The ties that bind will be unbound, never to be bound again.
Abby feels the grip of the shadows slowly releasing and realizes that if they let her go, she is going to drop about 10 feet to the ground. Claire and Elva continue the chant. Claire looks around and sees the shadows receding and knows that it is working. She sees the most scared look in Abby's eyes that she has ever seen before and realizes that if Abby is released, that she will plummet from the high point of the wall where she is pinned. Elva sees a figure from a corner move from behind Claire's view and hopes that it's her, the one that she trusts the most in this lonely alley. From a dark shop doorway emerges a small figure draped in a dark crimson cloak. The shadows are low now and hissing their terrible words of horror at Elva and Claire. However, the pair are remaining strong in their chant. The figure slowly makes its way toward the massive brick wall that has walled them in for centuries. The three continue their chant, not knowing a fourth person is whispering along as well.
The ties that bind will be unbound, never to be bound again. The ties that bind will be unbound, never to be bound again.
Abby is trying not to show how scared she is, but with the grip around her loosening by the second, it is hard to imagine that there is anything that lies before her but a splat on the hard cobblestone road below her. The small figure has crouched behind a shrubbery near the place where Abby is hung, knowing she has trained for a very long time for this moment and that the reflexes she has built are going to become more important than ever. Keep chanting, Claire. I know what needs to be done to break the curse that holds us here and to get rid of the shadows once and for all. Claire continues the chant. Elva knows that there are still 3 chanting to break the bind of the shadows and has spent many, many years memorizing the incantation that will break her free from this prison. Terra Nox Viwin. Terina Vox Neon. Shit.
You wrote this.
We are not getting out of this alley. Terina Nox Viwin. Terina Nox Viwin. Elva repeats this phrase over and over again. knowing that it will drain every last drop of her power to break the spell. Above them, Abby has slipped from the grasp of the shadows and begun to fall. Claire flinches a millisecond that could cost every one of them their lives, but she does not break contact with Elva, and she does not break her concentration on the goal. Claire spotted the figure below, and hope filled every fiber of her being that this was someone who was on their side. The fourth mysterious figure lunges forward, knowing they only have a single second and a mistake cannot be made. Feet planted and arms outstretched, the cloaked figure gets into place with no time to spare before Abby falls straight into her arms. Abby screams the entire way down, certain that this will be the end of her, but hoping the figure she had seen would save her. Falling straight into their arms sent waves of relief through Abby, and the figure audibly sighs in relief.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that actually worked. Nice to meet you again, Abby, but there's no time for formalities. We have to work together to finish this.
You seem so familiar.
No time. We'll explain later.
Noir puts Abby down and puts out a hand for Abby to take, which she does. The two run to the spot in the center of the Anywhere alley where Elva and Claire are struggling to keep the shadows at bay. Noir reaches into a pouch at her hip and pulls a bottle of yellow glowing liquid and throws it at a shadow that is reaching toward Claire's ankle. It smashes and sizzles upon contact with the shadow, which retreats with hissed screams. Elva lets go of the grip she has on Claire's left hand and reaches her hand out toward Noir, who takes it and nods to Abby to take her sister's empty hand. The four form a circle, and Abby and Noir resume the chant with Claire, who is beginning to wane again, but is standing straight as an arrow, her stringy black hair whirling around her head as though she were caught in her own personal hurricane.
The ties that bind will be unbound, never to be bound again. The ties that bind will be unbound, never to be bound again.
Elva continues chanting the spell that will break the curse of the Anywhere alley. She is so full of excitement that this is finally happening that she doesn't notice a small shadow hanging above them. Noir notices, though, and breaks the circle by reaching into a bag once again for another bottle. She tosses it into the air and it misses. The group can hear the laughs of the shadows around them, but they hold firm and steady. The wind is almost unbearable and is beginning to make it difficult to hear. Noir grabs the last bottle and again tosses it straight into the air. This time it makes contact, right into the grinning open mouth of the final shadow. It breaks and again sizzles, but this time, having been swallowed by the shadow, it causes an eruption. The shadow begins to scream just before it swells and explodes. Black goo flies everywhere around them, covering nearly every surface in the courtyard. There is a hiss in the air that slowly dissipates into nothingness. Claire and Abby are squeezing their eyes shut and still chanting. The
ties that bind will be unbound, never to be bound again. The ties that bind will be unbound, never to be bound again.
Elva is still chanting the spell to break them out of the alley while Noir is standing looking around.
I think it's over.
The group slowly come to a stop in their chanting, whispering out the final words.
Never to be bound again.
But the walls.
What do we need to be saying?
Claire, are you okay? Claire faints, dropping to the ground. Abby drops to the ground beside her. Is she dead? I don't know. Elva is too stunned to move, and Noir, who is best at thinking on her feet, drops to Claire's other side.
She's breathing. Let's get her inside and let her rest for a little while. I'm sure the poor thing is totally drained from all of that. She hasn't trained at all, and to be thrown into the wolf's den like that.
Noir scoops up Claire in her arms and makes her way to Elva's shop door.
Do you mind? My arms are kind of full.
Elva's concentration seems to be broken at Noir's words, and she moves into action, racing to her shop door to open it. I hope she's going to be okay. She did this for me, and I wouldn't be able to...
She's going to be okay. She just needs a little bit of rest.
What can I do?
Please, dear, there's a washroom in the bag. Please gather a couple of the cloths and get them nice and wet with the coldest water that you can.
I will. Abby races to the very back of the shop while Elva and Noir take Claire into the bedroom that is concealed behind one of the bookcases in the front room. Noir gently lowers Claire to the bed, and she and Elva exchange glances as they realize that Claire is pale and covered in sweat. Claire begins to stir just as Abby comes back into the room. Elva sits at the edge of the bed and begins to gently wipe Claire's face with a cold, damp cloth.
Where? How?
Don't worry about it right now. Just rest. You've done so well tonight. The work isn't over, but it's time to rest. Who are you? Elva and Noir look up upon hearing the question. Noir flips the hood of the cloak back to reveal long, black, silky hair, bright green eyes with slits for pupils.
I'm Elva's familiar.
But I thought that was Noir.
Well, it is, but you see, the shadows placed me under a spell the first time you were here. I was forced into service and was the reason you and Claire were brought here.
So you tricked us.
Not of my own free will, but now that we have broken the spell, I'm kind of glad they made me do it because we've not encountered anyone in 1,000 years with the kind of power like Claire has. I knew she was special from the moment I laid eyes on her.
But your eyes.
I come from a long line of spellcasters with a splash of feline energy. That's why it's easy for me to transform into a cat when I need to, but tonight I needed to be in this form in order to fulfill my end of the prophecy. I needed to be in the exact right place at just an exact moment.
But I don't understand. That's okay, my dear. It's all too complex, and I really don't understand it all myself. But Noir here is much more than my familiar. She is my friend and my lifelong companion, and I'm so glad that we will finally be able to travel the world together.
So you're girlfriends?
Abby, Elva, and Noir's heads snap to the bed where Claire is laying wide awake.
I guess you could say that.
Noir puts her hand on Elva's shoulder, and Elva lays her head against it, returning the physical gesture. So you like kissing stuff?
Yes, they do.
Abby giggles while Elva and Noir blush, but do not break away from each other.
What happened?
Well, the chant that we were all doing worked and put the shadows at bay enough to release Abby, and it was my job to catch her when she fell. This isn't the first time the shadows have done something like this, and I wasn't going to let another person fall in front of me. I couldn't do it. Not when Abby here was just a child. None of the others have been children.
The others? There have been others? There have been 1,000 years of others who have gotten caught in the clutches of the shadows. We've spent 1,000 years keeping them at bay the best that we can. Claire, you know this alley has moved throughout time and space for all of that time, and it has always captured people for the shadows to consume.
It allowed some people to live and work here like us, but we mostly worked for them. The shadows expected us to bring in people. We could never leave the boundaries of the alley. The brick wall stayed firmly in place for us, but when they allowed it to be visible, it was only visible to prey. Prey? Like when a cat hunts a mouse?
Exactly like that.
I have been praying to the goddesses for many years that someone powerful enough would come to help us. The shadows were everywhere here, and so we had to work in total silence so as to not let them hear what we have been up to.
Which was really hard, especially for 1,000 years.
And it worked, mostly. The shadows are gone. Noir brewed a special potion just for them.
Sort of like a really potent Molotov cocktail. I missed that second one. Did you see?
I was kind of distracted, but I did hear them laugh at you.
That really fired me up. I feel like it improved my aim because that last one went right in that son of a bitch.
Language, darling. Son of a bitch. Startled by Abby's statement, the group erupted into a stream of giggles that flowed around the room. Lightness filled every corner and spilled out into the street. The once dark and gloomy alley was filled with sunlight through every corner. Doors began to open, and other residents of the Anywhere alley began to fill the streets. Abby and Noir stepped out of Elva's shop door upon hearing the bustling outside, and Noir was struck with amazement. Residents from all corners began to laugh and to cry and laugh. Whispers of "We're free" began to slowly erupt in cheers. Abby had no idea so many people lived here. She had only ever seen Elva and Noir. Have they all been here this entire time?
They've been here just as long as Elva and I, at least 1,000 years in this dark prison of shadows. Many of them have never seen the light before.
They've never seen the light?
Not not light like this.
Inside, Claire and Elva are sitting on the bed together chatting.
So we did it? We can all leave now?
Well, we defeated the shadows, most definitely. I don't think my spell to lift the enchantment on the alley worked, though. The brick walls were still up when we came inside.
Can we go check?
Only if you're sure you're okay to walk.
I think I'm okay now.
Elva stands and helps Claire to her feet. They interlock their arms and walk out of the shop together. The two spot Noir and Abby not far from them, and they make their way over. Elva looks to the end of the alley, and Claire feels Elva's body begin to shake.
Elva, are you okay?
Sobbing, I can't believe it.
Believe what?
Elva points to the end of the alley, and the others turn their attention that way. The wall is still there, but there is a beautiful stone archway that is allowing people through. Elva and Noir take each other's hand and begin to walk toward the archway. Claire reaches out for Abby's hand.
Abby, are you ready to go home?
I miss Mom.
Me too.
Together, the two pairs walk toward the exit and into a brand new day. And I wanted to do a little afterward, like kind of just...
Where are we now?
Put a little bow on it. So, Elva and Noir traveled the world for some time, but the Anywhere Alley was always their home base, and they built their home and their love there. Claire would go on to take over Elva's shop when she was about 20 years old and loved it. She practiced her craft and honed her magic very well. People came from all over the world to learn from her. Her mother didn't really understand her well, and they were never particularly close after that night in the Anywhere Alley. She and Abby agreed to never tell her what really happened that night. Abby learned how to use the little bit of magic she held and loved teaching the young children of the Anywhere Alley how to pull harmless practical jokes and magic tricks. She rented an apartment in the Anywhere Alley across from Elva's, and one day she met a lovely young man and built a wonderful little life with him. And the son of a bitch shadow never returned to the Anywhere Alley.
I love it. I love it.
I thought that was a very cute little wrap up.
It was. Also, being
what started out as like, I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
To, aww.
Yeah. I'm going to say I wasn't ready for Elva and Noir to be a thing. However,
when I sat down this morning to write, I did not know that I was going to write about gay. I was not going to write a little gay love story.
Listen. We are recording this on June 27th. It's still Pride Month, so
yeah.
Happy Pride.
Yeah. I was like, I like as I was incorporating the story, like the storyline of Noir. I was like, as I initially typed the first bit, I was like, I put him, and then I was like, no, I don't like that. I don't think Elva likes a man. So I was like, yeah, I like a gay little cat wizard. Pussy wizard, if you will.
I can't. I'm done.
So,
anyway, that was good. I'm proud of you. I like that
one. I liked the way that I wrapped that up.
I like that.
But my plan is I'm going to put them all into one part, and then I will, by the time this episode comes out, we will probably have like a Wanders of Weird Wattpad account, and I will probably post it there.
This is news to me.
Yes, this was something I
don't
even
know what Wattpad is.
It's people used to be a big platform for fan fiction.
Okay.
Like this is where a lot of people write like Twilight fan fiction and stuff.
Okay.
So I'm gonna create us a little Wanders of Weird account over there and post my silly little story.
Okay. That'll be another social for us to add to our nether regions.
Whenever I do these types of stories, I'll just shout it out or whatever if it's going to be on Wattpad. This may be the only one that ever lives there. So, but the link will be in the description of this episode to access the written format of the Anywhere Alley.
I love it. So, Are we ready for our nonprofit?
Yes.
Nonprofit of the month is Nature Conservancy Canada. They are in Canada's leading national land conservation organization. They're a private nonprofit organization who partners with individuals, corporations, foundations, Indigenous communities, and other nonprofit organizations and governments at all levels to protect the most important natural treasures, which are the natural areas that sustain Canada's plants and wildlife. They secure properties through donation, purchase, conservation agreement, and relinquishment of other legal interests in land and manage them for the long term. They have, since 1962, have NCC and its partners have helped to protect 20 million hectares coast to coast to coast. So, if you feel so obliged, we will have a link to donate to that organization in our nether regions, along with our socials, which are we ready for those?
Yep.
Facebook,
Instagram,
TikTok,
YouTube.
And you can email us with those Dear Wanderers letters.
Yes.
Send us TV shows that we should watch.
Yeah.
YouTube channels that you'd like us to look into.
Yeah. Nothing weird. Too weird. Depends on.
This is the Wanderers of Weird.
Yeah. But I don't want to see like some dude in his basement being.
We don't want dirty stuff.
Unappealing.
We don't want dirty stuff.
Yeah. Only cool weird YouTube channels.
Yes. So
I can't say much. I've been watching nothing but Smosh lately, and it is really fueling my life. I love it.
That email that you can send that all to is wanderersofweird
@gmail.com.
Okay, bye.
Let me quick tell you. I forgot to tell you a road trip story.
Yeah.
So on the road trip, we stopped at Buc-ee's, right? We stopped at the one in Crossville. Where we get gas. We're going from the fuel pump inside. There's a motorcycle on the other side of the pump from us. He goes to take off. Guess what we all three do when this man takes off? And he heard us do it. He takes off on his Harley, and we all go, brother! All three of us, unprompted, at the same, brother! And he 100% heard us.
I was going to ask, and I just forgot until right now.
Mm-hmm.
In relation to the short story that we just finished, the little phrase that Elva did to try and lift the wall, where did that come from?
That I Googled like incantations, and I found one that is like to get like a cursed place, like a cursed location or something like that. And then I changed the spelling of it a little bit.
Okay. I was like, you didn't put like a real thing in there.
No,
like,
I changed the spelling of it a little bit. This way it was.
I got you.
Yeah. And then the other one, I was like, yeah, this sounds good. I wanted it to be like,
right,
like a trio, and then it was easily repeated.
Yeah. And
hers, I knew would probably only be said the once, and then I would like allude to it, not have to say it again. But okay, bye.
Okay, bye.